This can get very personal, even nasty in the incestuous media world. It began when Senator Kirsten Gillibrand called on Donald Trump to resign. The president fired off that tweet about how she'd do anything for campaign contributions. MSNBC's Mika Brzezinski slammed the president for that and said that if his press secretary backed her boss on this, she should resign.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, good luck today in the briefing. Don't lie and do not defend the president of the United States for what he did.
Well, that brought a blast from former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee defending his daughter on Fox, and Joe Scarborough shot back on behalf of his fiancée.
I was stunned that of all the people who are going to give a lecture on morality and family and marriage, it's going to be Mika. Mika can go pound sand somewhere as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, so I just saw the Huckabee clip.
No.
What a sleazy thing to do.
Joe, come on.
No, what a sleaze bag. Mike, what a judgmental, predictably stupid thing for you to do. It's unbelievable.
Joining us now from New York, Guy Benson, political editor of townhall.com. And Jessica Tarloff, senior director at Bustle.com, both are Fox News contributors. So, Guy, what do you make of Mika Brzezinski attacking Sarah Huckabee Sanders and saying if you defend your boss on this Kirsten Gillibrand tweet, you should go, you should quit?
Well, I think that attack was premised on a false assumption that the tweet itself was sexist. The president says sexist things sometimes and has done sexist things in the past, but in my opinion, this tweet was not sexist. And Molly Hemingway, I think, made that case earlier in your program. He has said the exact same thing with the exact same formulation about male Republicans in the not too distant past. So then that sort of began a cascade of counterattacks from various family members, fiancés, fathers. It got personal, and sometimes when it gets personal, it gets ugly.
Yeah, Jessica, you know, it's understandable Mike Huckabee would come to the defense of his daughter, but Joe Scarborough is also right that Mika Brzezinski hadn't talked about marriage or family. What did you make of all the sniping?
Well, I made two things. First of all, on the premise of what the tweet actually signified, I completely agree that Donald Trump insults men and women. I think that he needs to be careful not to insult women in this way. And because she had said specifically something about the charges of him sexually assaulting, I think it's up to 19 women, I feel that he did go after her in that way specifically, and it was sexist. My second point is that what these cable news hosts are doing and pundits, when we get up here and we fight like that, we are further turning America off. They don't want to see Joe Scarborough and Mike Huckabee have a fight about their respective loved ones. Stick to the news as much as you can. I know opinion is fun, and I certainly love to express mine, but I think that's why you have sinking faith in the media.
Right. Let's go to Omarosa, who is leaving the White House, either fired or resigned, depending on whose account you believe. She has been in a feud with the radio reporter and CNN contributor April Ryan. Take a brief look.
The assertion that I would do that in front of 600 guests at a Christmas party, and no one has reported that except for one individual who has a personal vendetta against me.
I'm continuing to hear information from all sides, I mean, credible sources. I have no vendetta. I am a reporter who's covering the beat.
Guy, April Ryan says she's doing her job, but she formerly was friends with Omarosa, and they have been feuding for a while.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a personal vendetta here. Maybe there is. I think there is overall a vendetta on behalf of April Ryan against this White House, going back to the stupid allegations about whether Sarah Huckabee Sanders baked her own pie, saying that, oh, I wasn't invited to the Christmas party, but if I had been, I wouldn't have gone anyway. It does seem like April Ryan goes beyond just being a reporter frequently.
Right.
She's a commentator, an activist on the left. She does her job. That includes some reporting, but I think to claim that she's just a journalist, just a straight reporter, to me, the evidence suggests otherwise.
Just briefly, Jessica, are the media giving too much attention to the departure of Omarosa, who is not exactly a major figure in the White House?
Yeah, absolutely. There was that amazing Daily Beast article about how she was followed around and no one could figure out what it is that she actually does. I presume that's why she was fired in the end, and that John Kelly thought there is no reason to be paying this person a bunch of money so that she can have her bridesmaids come in, open presents, and have a luncheon. So I think that's what was going on here. But I have a very high opinion of April Ryan, and I don't think she was making this up.
All right, disagreement there. Let me move to these FBI texts, these two FBI agents, one of whom, Peter Strzok, was removed by Robert Mueller from the investigation. Let's put some of the messages up on the screen. He is writing to his girlfriend, Lisa Page. God, Trump is loathsome human, yet he may win. Good for Hillary, it is. And if we can move on, Peter Strzok, oh my God, he's an idiot. Lisa Page, awful, is also a reference to insurance policy. So, Guy, there's an issue here about whether this stuff should have been leaked and shared to the press, and there's also an issue about whether it undermines the credibility of the investigation.
Well, I think the American people had the right to see what these text messages were, because Strzok was fired or demoted or thrown off this investigation months ago. We knew that he had departed Mueller's team, but we didn't know why. And then it took a long time. Congress didn't even know why. It took a long time for us to figure out what the case was. And if there were references to anti-Trump, pro-Hillary text messages, I think for journalistic transparency, it was right for the media to try to get their hands on those and give them to viewers and to readers. To me, you just ran through some of those examples of what was sent back and forth, and some of it was just sort of sniping, and people are going to have their political opinions.
Right.
And obviously, they didn't love Mr. Trump. But to me, the most important one, or the most potentially problematic message, was about that insurance policy against the Trump presidency. To me, that raises a red flag. And on the media side of this, Howie, Byron York tweeted over the weekend that he did a search of the New York Times and Washington Post websites, and the insurance policy element of those texts was never mentioned in a single news story about this controversy.
Okay, so I think that needed more coverage. But Jessica, let me point you to something that Jesse Waters said on his Fox show last night. Let's put it up. He was talking about the investigation. He said, we may now have evidence the FBI meant to destroy the Trump presidency for partisan purposes. In fact, we have, if it's true, we have a coup on our hands in America. So critics on your side saying Fox News, or some Fox commentators, they really should say, are trying to discredit this investigation any way they can.
Yeah, and I think that's an accurate criticism. And it's not just people on my side of the aisle. There are a number of Republicans who feel very strongly that Bob Mueller should be able to proceed, as he has been, with the full confidence of the government, and certainly not the President of the United States of America slandering them nonstop, even at graduations. We know that Christopher Wray and Rod Rosenstein have both said that they have full confidence in this investigation and how Bob Mueller is running it. I completely agree with Guy that the text that matters is about the insurance policy and the idea that these characters were sitting around in Andy McCabe's office talking about what would be done. We don't know if anything happened.
Since you both agree on one point, I'm going to call a halt there. Guy Benson and Jessica Tarlov, thanks very much for a great debate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next.